first, it feels like a gift. No yawning, no exhaustion. No need to lie down and lose a third of your life to unconsciousness. One night, people simply do not fall asleep. They lie in bed, alert, calm, awake. Hours pass. Morning arrives. No one feels tired. News spreads quickly. Doctors assume it is stress, excitement, coincidence. But by the second night, the truth becomes unavoidable. No one on earth can sleep. Not briefly, not lightly, not at all. I stay open. Minds stay active. Bodies remain awake. The initial reaction is disbelief mixed with excitement. Productivity spikes. Cities stay active through the night. People work longer hours, socialize endlessly, consume more media. The concept of night loses meaning almost instantly. Cafes never close. Lights stay on. Schedules blur. For a short moment, civilization feels supercharged. But the human body was never designed for permanent wakefulness. Within 48 hours, subtle cracks begin to appear. Concentration weakens. Short-term memory becomes unreliable. People lose track of conversations mid-sentence. Simple decisions feel strangely difficult. Emotions fluctuate without clear cause. Mild irritability, sudden sadness, unexplained euphoria. By the third day, symptoms intensify. Reaction times slow. Coordination falters. Accidents increase. Drivers misjudge distances. Workers make errors in routine tasks. Surgeons and pilots are grounded as safety risks become obvious. Hospitals fill, not with injured bodies, but with confused minds. Doctors observe something alarming. Despite being awake, the brain begins to malfunction. Sleep was not rest, it was maintenance. Without it, neural systems start to break down. Hallucinations begin quietly. People report seeing movement in the corner of their vision, hearing voices that vanish when focused on, shadows that do not belong to anything real. The brain, deprived of sleep, starts generating its own reality. Governments issue statements urging calm. Sleep aids are prescribed. Sedatives are administered, but nothing works. Drugs that once induced sleep now only cause sedation without unconsciousness. People lie still, eyes open, minds racing. The circadian rhythm collapses globally. Time becomes psychological rather than biological. Without sleep, days lose boundaries. People stop knowing when a day begins or ends. Work shifts overlap endlessly. Fatigue exists but without release. Children are affected more severely. Young brains struggle to cope without sleep cycles. Learning ability collapses. Emotional regulation fails. Schools close as teachers realize children cannot focus or retain information. Developmental damage becomes a growing concern. Mental health deteriorates rapidly. Anxiety disorders explode. Depression deepens. Paranoia spreads as hallucinations blur into belief. People become convinced they are being watched, followed, judged. Trust erodes. Crime rises not from intent, but from impairment. Police officers suffer the same symptoms as everyone else. Judgment errors increase. Conflicts escalate unnecessarily. Mistakes turn minor disputes into violent encounters. The economy begins to suffer. Despite longer hours, productivity falls sharply. Errors multiply. Systems that require precision, finance, infrastructure, medicine become unstable. Markets fluctuate wildly as confidence collapses. Media never stops broadcasting. News cycles accelerate into constant noise. Fear spreads faster than facts. Rumors feel real when minds are exhausted but unable to shut down. Scientists race to understand the cause. Brain scans reveal disturbing patterns. Neurons show signs of overload. Waste products that are normally cleared during sleep begin to accumulate. The brain is poisoning itself slowly, hour by hour. After 5 days, the first deaths are reported. Not from physical exhaustion, but from neurological failure. The brain simply stops functioning properly. Heart rhythms destabilize. Immune systems weaken. Bodies fail while awake. The illusion of a gift shatters completely. Sleep was not optional. It was a biological firewall between consciousness and collapse. And now, Humanity has crossed that boundary. This is only the beginning of what happens when humans can no longer sleep. As days turn into weeks, the absence of sleep pushes humanity beyond exhaustion and into a state of irreversible neurological decline. What began as restlessness becomes a global medical emergency with no solution in sight. The brain continues to deteriorate. Sleep was not just rest, it was repair. Without it, toxic byproducts of neural activity accumulate rapidly. Brain scans reveal swelling, misfiring neural circuits, and widespread dysfunction. Cognitive abilities collapse unevenly. Some people lose language first. Others lose emotional control. Many lose the ability to distinguish reality from hallucination. Hallucinations intensify. Visual distortions become constant. People see faces where none exist, hear voices that argue, accuse, or command. Dreams bleed into waking life, creating a permanent state of confusion. Entire populations live in a waking nightmare, fully conscious yet mentally fractured. Psychosis spreads. Hospitals are overwhelmed, but doctors and nurses are just as impaired as their patients. Diagnosis becomes unreliable. Treatment becomes guesswork. Mental health institutions collapse under the scale of the crisis. Many facilities shut down entirely as staff become unable to function. Violence increases sharply. Impulse control disappears. Fear and paranoia drive behavior. Ordinary disagreements escalate instantly. Accidental injuries turn deadly. Law enforcement loses coherence as officers suffer the same breakdowns. Authority dissolves not through rebellion, but through incapacity. Governments declare global emergencies. Curfews are meaningless when no one sleeps. Borders close. Emergency powers are announced repeatedly, then forgotten. Leadership fractures as decision-makers lose continuity of thought. Coordination fails at every level. Infrastructure begins to fail. Power plants require precise monitoring. Water treatment systems depend on consistent oversight. Transportation networks need focus and timing. Without sleep, errors accumulate faster than they can be corrected. Blackouts spread. Clean water becomes unreliable. Fires go undetected until too late. The economy collapses into survival mode. Complex systems cannot operate when human cognition is unstable. Markets shut down permanently. Supply chains fracture. Food distribution becomes chaotic. Waste management fails. Cities grow unsanitary and dangerous. Children suffer catastrophic damage. Developing brains require sleep for growth and learning. Without it, cognitive development stalls or reverses. Language acquisition weakens. Emotional regulation fails completely. A generation grows up neurologically damaged, unable to recover even if sleep ever returns. Biology begins to adapt poorly. Some brains enter microfailure states, shutting down certain functions involuntarily. Others slip into catatonia, awake but unresponsive. The human nervous system attempts emergency shutdowns that mimic fragments of sleep, but without coordination. These adaptations are unstable and often fatal. Death becomes common, not sudden but gradual. Heart rhythms destabilize. Immune systems collapse. Infections spread rapidly through weakened populations. People die awake, confused, and terrified, unable to escape consciousness. Religion and philosophy surge. People search desperately for meaning. Some believe sleeplessness is punishment. Others see it as evolution. Cult-like movements emerge, encouraging surrender to hallucinations or collective delusion as a form of coping. As weeks pass, civilization loses cohesion. Language simplifies. Memory fragments. Culture dissolves into noise. History stops being recorded accurately. Humanity enters a cognitive dark age while still technically awake. The final realization arrives too late. Sleep was not a weakness. It was the mechanism that kept consciousness stable. Without it, awareness becomes a curse, an endless, unfiltered exposure to reality until the brain breaks under its own activity. Humanity does not fall asleep. It falls apart, awake,